Hello everyone and welcome back again. In this lesson we're going to talk about the activity lifecycle, and we're going to talk about how we can send a very simple string from one activity to another. Okay, so as you can see here, I just started right off the bat with my browser here, and I'm showing you the managing activity lifecycle web I mean the web page, and you can see how your activity is being started and how it's being destroyed and everything. So what I could just simply go over here, I will grab this very simple diagram over here to show you how activity is actually working. So basically everything is pretty much the same, so it's pretty much the same here. I believe, yeah, everything is just here. So just this is a little bit more easier presentation if you want to think about it that way. So basically, if you start your application, you call on create, then it happens that you call on start, and then okay, on restore instance state, and then on resume. Let me see if there's even a smaller version, because oops, sorry, close. Yeah, this one is smaller. Yeah, so this, with the bare minimum, I needed actually the bare minimum. So on create, it actually, once you start an activity, it just calls on create, on start, and then on resume, and then you get it into something which is called the running state. Now running state here, it doesn't mean that it's actually if your activity is hidden, it's not running. It just means basically it's visible if you think about it that way. Okay, so this is basically it. And then if you actually go away from the activity, like go a message box pops in, or a phone call comes in, and your application goes hidden, what happens is it goes to on paused state. Okay, so it calls on pause, and then if your application, let's say you are dealing with your application, then a phone call comes in. What happens is your application will be immediately kicks in, goes into paused, and then immediately to on stop. So you're gonna get on pause, on stop, right away. Just called immediately. Okay, so just goes through this and goes there right away. In case if you are, for example, having some sort of a message box pops out, you most probably gonna go on pause, and then it goes on resume back again right away. Okay, so once you are in the stopped state, once it gets back again to running state, it will call on restart, on start, and then on resume. Okay, um, prior to honeycomb, if your activity is in the pause state, it could be killed by the activity manager, by your application manager. Oh yes, actually the activity manager. So your activity manager could actually kill it automatically. And as I already said to you before, a couple of times already, in the previous lessons, your activities are being managed by the system. It's not managed by you at all. You don't have a control over them, more or less. So basically they change states, they kill, the activity manager kills and starts the stuff, and they manage it on their own. Okay, so your job is to save and load the states appropriately, so you will not have some sort of user interface or user experience kind of so you're gonna have actually good user experience, if you know what I mean. So again, you start an activity, you fire up these functions, you go into the running state. Once you stop, once you move away from that activity, it goes to on pause, then on stop. Once you go away completely from it, okay? If you are in the stopped state, there is a possibility that it's going to be destroyed or killed, and if this happens, it will call on destroy. And it's the same thing for here as well. Prior to honeycomb, it will just call on destroy. Okay, and if you think about it, why it didn't go, for example, from running right to destroyed, and just simply you know, run it again? Why it just has to go through pause and through stop? Why even didn't go to stop and then destroy and start over again when you show the activity? And the answer to this is this part is really expensive. On create here you are starting to parse your XML, getting your objects mapped out in the memory and everything to your resources. This initialization is quite expensive when you get it just up and running. And if you go here on resume, this on create is not being called again, so you will not have to reparse your XML and initialize all these variables and all these stuff. It just, everything has been initialized. You just simply need to resume using them again. Okay, so that's why this life cycle is happening here in that way. Yeah, so this is actually pretty much it. One more thing. If you are having a game that's running, and suddenly something happens and the user wants to minimize it, you need to pause and save the game at that point. Okay, you don't need to. You cannot kill the whole application and let the user start over the game again and lose everything again, which is really bad thing. And you're gonna get a really low rating. You're gonna get just 1 star right there. It tells you your application sucks. You cannot, you know, I cannot resume where I stopped because a phone call I got, or something happened, or I had to go, or something like that. So, and by the way, also developing games for mobile, you cannot have a very long sessions. So if you have a huge game that has many levels, try your best to make your level doesn't exceed, let's say, 5 minutes per level tops. You know, your play sessions has to be really small, and save often, because people who are playing on their cell phones, they are mainly waiting somewhere, or sitting somewhere waiting for someone, or and expect any phone call to kick in at any time. So you don't need to make the player play 1 hour for a whole level and then suddenly he loses this 1 hour of playing because just a phone call comes in. So you're gonna have to start saving your states, and in any case, and how, in order to do that, you will ask yourself, like, where should I do that, and where should I load my states again? Now if you look carefully here, most of the time when you are in the running state, the only exit from the running is on pause, if you have noticed. So your running goes from the running state, always goes through on pause. So on pause right here, you should start saving your stuff, and you shouldn't do a very long operations there. You're gonna have to do something really small and fast, because whatever application is trying to take over, or activity trying to activate, it will not activate until this guy returns. So you're gonna have to make a very small operation for saving your state. Do not do something huge that takes time, because the user will not. He needs to wait for a fraction of a second for this guy to finish. So you're gonna have to finish this really fast in order to allow the other activity to kick in. If you don't do that, this guy will just keep working until the activity starts to kick. Until once it's finished, the other activity will start to kick in. And the entry point actually to your application from any place is the on resume, and on resume as well. So on resume is probably the best place where you block in, or you put in loading or reloading your game state. Okay, so here you save your things, and here probably it's better idea to load your things. So this is how I like to think about it. And as well, it's also recommended by Android. Let me see here. Let me go back, and I believe there is on the activity class on the reference, there should be a huge diagram. There you go, a diagram describing how these activities are being called. And as you can see here, you get the methods and their equivalents. So method on create and its description, and is it killable, and it's no. For restart, it will not be killed by the activity manager. On pause, prior to honeycomb, it is possibly is going to be killed. And on stop is yes, for sure it's going to be killed eventually, one time or another. I mean, you don't know, but just is going to be killed. And the on destroy, yes, is going to be killed as well. So when your application at this state, you have to expect it's going to be killed. So you shouldn't put something here that has, you know, that has some sort of significance, if you know what I mean. A huge impact to your application, unless it depends how you design actually your application. So this is the basic idea behind what is the activity, or how the activity is actually handling their own activity manager handles their own life cycle, and handles the other activities life cycles, I have to say. All right, so if I come over here, I'll minimize this. Let us start. Let's create another activity, and let us try to send a message from one activity, from this main activity, to another. Show something which is called a toast, and a toast is a small notification, and I will show you how it looks like right here in the emulator in a second. And it's good for something like to notify the user, not to block whatever he's doing. He just simply like a notification, I've done something, you know, like this is, you know, it's something that happens to it by default, but or a behavior that happens by default, but you would like to inform the user that you have done it. So it's a good idea to leave, or to have this toast from one time to another, in case you wanted to notify the user about something that happens automatically for him. So for example, you saved something. So for example, somebody is playing with some of your contacts, and let's say you hit the save button, then for example you edit the contact, and then you are moving to another contact immediately from there. It will just simply say, you know, I saved your contact. So just simply say contact is saved, or something like that. So you notify the user without him having to press the OK button, or having a message box, or this dialogue boxes, or modal forms that we have in the desktop applications. Yeah, so let me go ahead and go inside my activities, and I will right click, new, and since I don't have it here, I will go to other and expand Android, and you can have Android activity. I'm gonna hit next. I'm gonna leave it as blank activity, next, and it's not gonna be my main activity. And just because we are playing here and testing with it, I'm gonna just say secondary activity, and yeah, and I will just leave it there. And it is not a launcher, so I'm gonna just leave it there, and then hit next. And this is the view. It's showing you what it's gonna do to your code, or to your XML configurations once you hit finish. So this is what's gonna happen to your XML manifest, and I'm gonna show it to you in a second once we get to it. This is what's gonna happen to your strings, and these are the changes. Your secondary activity XML is gonna be generated, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna just hit finish. I'm gonna show you what has been done. And right now you get the activity, the secondary activity, Java, there you go, and set content view again to the secondary activity. Okay, and I will leave this message box, this label there. I will not just touch it right now, or you know what, let me delete it and make it bigger for you so you can see it as well. There you go. I'll just leave it as large text, Control S, and let me see here. So let me go to the manifest file, and I open immediately to the XML, and you look at this. You get another activity added for you, which is this hook up between this between your Android application thread and your activity, and your activity links again back to this guy. Okay, so if you look here at the Android manifest, it says the name of your activity is tied to that class at that package or namespace. So this is the one, and then it has a label with that title. So if I go here at the strings secondary activity, it's titled with the secondary activity as well. Okay, so let me go over here into the secondary activity. Oh, sorry, into my main activity, and we're gonna have to start. Once I click on a button, I will not set my text anymore. I would like actually to send whatever I have typed in here to the second activity to be shown right here. Okay, so how we can do that, how we can pull that out. Now, as I already told you in the previous lesson, in order to talk to another activity, we have to send it as we have to send whatever we would like to to another activity into something which is called an intent. So you package everything which you have and just put it in an object of an intent and just simply start an activity with it. So how can we do that? Now I'm just gonna go hit the control and / so I can comment this guy, this line of code. And here I'm gonna just start creating a new intent. So I'm gonna have intent, I can spell, intent equals to new intent, and I'm gonna grab this package context. Now there are a couple of things you can do. You can pass in this, okay, or you can pass in get application context. It's yeah, I mean it's pretty much almost the same effect, but probably it's not the same. But here you are specifying that I'm actually gonna be sending. I'm using my current application thread. Application context is like you are referring to your current application thread, okay, as your application, not your activity, but the whole application, because there's a huge difference between an activity and an application. Okay, this is, I mean, the life cycle which I've shown you is just the activity. There's no connections here with the application up until now. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And during the classes, by the way, I was always getting the application context. Here I'm just gonna pass this just to show you the other way. And here I'm gonna have to say which activity I'm calling, and I'm gonna have to pass in the type, by the way. So I have to say secondary activity dot class, right? So this is it. Now we're gonna have to grab whatever we have in the text and then send it and then put it inside in that intent. So I'm gonna have to say intent dot put and then put extra, and I'm gonna get please put an extra string. So I believe it should be somewhere here. I believe I've seen it. There you go. And you have to pass in a name, which is a key, and a value. And you need a key because this is how you're going to refer to it in the secondary activity. So I'm going to have here a key is message, and my value is going to be, my value is going to be txt message dot get text, get text dot to string, because it returns to me an editable, and I need here a string. Okay, and right now I'm free to go and create and actually start the other activity. So I'll just simply say start activity intent with an intent, as you can see here, and I'm just gonna pass in my intent semicolon, and we are actually done. So what we have to do here is come to the other side, and then on create we have to start receiving this intent and figure it out. So I'm gonna create here an object of a bundle, and bundle equals to get intent dot get extras. And right now I got my intent, which I have been called with. I have also got the extras. Now in case that somebody didn't send a certain extra, or there are no intents, I will just would like to know about them. So if actually I will call this, okay, I will just call this if bundle doesn't equal to null. Alright, then what I'm gonna do here is start parsing my XML. I could actually even parse it right from here, but it's okay. Yeah, okay, I can leave it here, and I'm gonna just simply say edit, I believe it was text view, text view, LBL message equals to um, text view, and then I will just simply say find view by ID R and R dot ID dot, and as you can see here, text view 1, and please do not be thrown out by or thrown off by this. You can see I have the send button, I have the txt message from the other activity, and this is because all resources are actually being put together in one place. So do not be thrown off by this. So you have to be careful what you are choosing. As you can see here, I haven't renamed my text view, so I can just for the sake of you know, like clarity, I don't like to have something like that, so I just simply call this LBL send message. And please do not name it with the same names, okay? Because if you name it with the same names, you're gonna end up with a real big trouble, because Android cannot differentiate between them. If you name it with the same name, they are not separate in terms of the context, okay? They are, because all the resources are in one place. If you name the same label with the same name, once you do a change in one label in one activity, it will reflect as well there. So don't do that. So try to change the names as well. I will keep it here sent message. By the way, I broke the code into two lines here. I could actually push all this into one. Okay, and here what I'm gonna do is bundle dot get key, and as you can here see string key, and here I will just simply put in my message. Okay, and I will say LBL message dot set text to this guy, and I believe we should be done, hopefully, or yeah, to string. Now we are good. Okay, so let's give this a quick run. So I will save everything, and let's hope that I haven't missed anything. Oh, I have to be in the main activity, so yeah, start running, double click, and this is my message, send, and there you go. This is my message. And if I, you know, hello Android, so hello Android, so it works fine. Now let me show you how to create a toast. So a toast is basically you can actually, there are several ways of creating it. I will just show you one line of code how to create it, and I've seen it on the Android SDK documentation. It's really great, so I love it. I'm gonna just simply say toast dot make text, and then I'm gonna have to specify the context, which is gonna be this, and I'm gonna have to give it a text, so it's gonna be I'm sending a message here, and with the duration you're gonna have toast dot short or long, it depends, so I'm just gonna leave it at short, and dot show. So there you go, this is it. I'm gonna just simply, you see it's still running, but if I hit run, it will stop your application, reinstall it, and give it for you back again. I will try just to move this up a little bit because it's gonna be shown somewhere at the bottom. So I'm gonna just say this is my message, and if I hit here, I'm sending a message here. So this is a toast. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, it's very good when you have a default, some sort of I have done something, and you're just notifying the user I've done it. So here you would like, if you would like, you can make it a little bit longer. So you can say long, and it will take a longer time to it will take longer time to be dismissed, so it will stay a little bit longer and will disappear. There you go. Okay, so this is pretty much it for what I wanted to show you in this video. if you would like, right now I believe you are asking me, the question is, what if I would like to send not a string but a whole object to another activity? And this is going to be the subject of our next lesson. It's going to take a little bit of labor, because apparently sending objects between two activities is not that very straightforward as you might think. So we're gonna actually look into that in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please, as well, again, start experimenting, start trying things, and see what you can get up with. So see you in the next lesson.